it started 13 years ago. I went to the doctor on a Friday just to get a routine checkup, right? Get everything checked out, make sure that I was in health, right? In good health. Doctor pats me on the back and I go out the door and I'm thinking nothing's wrong. And my wife's going to help share the story because she's got the burden of the stories.
Our story is crazy, but we want the world to know it. So by Wednesday, I had to take him. We had to go to the ER. He was so sick, and we're thinking the flu, dehydration. We get to the ER, and they're like, within minutes, they're like, "Man, we got to go to the ICU. Your husband's blood is toxic. We got to go." And I'm like, "What kind of flu is this? This is crazy." So we get to the ICU. Within minutes of getting in the ICU room, they're telling me. I was trying not to cry, but they're telling me that they have to intubate. And I'm like, what? I'm like, how did we get from the flu to life support? This is crazy. And so, literally, that night was the first night that I heard the words diabetes and my husband's name in the same sentence. His A1C that night was 19. Incompatible with life is what they told me. Incompatible. The only person who gave me hope that night was the dialysis doctor. His kidneys had shut down, so his blood was toxic. And so they started dialysis that very night. He was in a diabetic coma for 5 days, in the hospital for 9, and then we left the hospital as a critical type 2 diabetic. A 13-year crazy journey that just doesn't even end there. So take it away.
So 7 years later, I'm at work and the doctor's there examining me. They tell me I'm getting the flu, so I go to bed that night. I wake up the next morning, I can't move my legs. So I go to the hospital all day. Doctor comes out and says, "Mr. Davis, we know exactly what's wrong with you. You have vertigo." I'm like, "I can't move my legs." It's a dizzy balancing problem, right? I was like, "I can't move my legs, doc. What's wrong with those?" And he gives me a script, tells me to leave, and if it gets worse, come back and see me. And so I go to my parents' house, wake up the next morning, and now I am paralyzed.
He's having a problem, and the doctors are basically telling him nothing's wrong. And so 48 hours, they missed an actual stroke on him, 48 hours. And after that point, of course, you have permanent damage from that. And it was just amazing, just crazy, literally crazy.
James, let me just interrupt here. So my understanding is that your first episode, you went in HbA1c of a 19, blood sugar over 1,000. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Then you go back into the doctor. They say vertigo, but you've really had a stroke.
Yes. 7 years after the diabetic coma.
And what about the medications and treatment that you were put on to manage these problems? Can you tell us about those?
Yeah, they didn't work. I kept going to endocrinologists all the time to try to get my blood sugars under control, and it was like an EKG line, when you're hooked up to get your heart monitored. That's what it looked like every single day. And we could not get it under control at all. And so every time I go to the doctor, they kept upping my insulin. So I was at over 250 units of insulin a day.
Yeah. And from the initial stroke 8 years ago, he has had 5 episodes where it looks like a stroke, acts like a stroke, but it's not a stroke. And they told us it's caused by stress. And that had happened again in March of this year. And his A1C at that time was 12.3. His blood sugar that night was 436 when he passed out at work. Triglycerides, all his blood work was just off the chain, off the chart. And so our dear friends, Sam and Carlene, and our new friend, Megan O'Brien, they reached out to me and they were like, "Listen, Linda, we have to talk to you. You have to listen." And so we started to listen. And when I heard about this protocol, it sounded too good to be true. But I'm like, I'm willing to try anything. Like, desperation will put you anywhere, And so I was like, literally, let me just try it. And so we tried it. And the sun is out again. So let me just tell you, he can tell you what happened.
Okay, so your A1C in March was in the 12s. blood sugar in the 400s. You're on 250 units a day of insulin. What has happened since starting this protocol in April?
I started April 2nd, went to the doctor 2 weeks afterwards. The doctor looked at my blood work on my meter and said, wow, what is going on here? Your numbers look absolutely amazing. So at that point, she took me off of all daytime medicine, dropped my insulin at night from 60 units to 15. My A1C has dropped to 8.1. My triglycerides are down to 84. My HDL has gone up 20 points, and my LDL is in range where it should be.
And not only that, but he had neuropathy pain for 8 years from his stroke, chronic, and it's gone. Like all his chronic pain is gone. I I have my best friend back. And if you think that this protocol is too good to be true, it's not. If you think it's too expensive, it's not, because if you don't pay for this, you're going to pay for sick care. The bills that we have from financial hospitals and everything is just unbelievable.
And I have lost 45 pounds unintentionally, just doing the protocol, nothing strenuous. We have gone out of the gym a few times, but really the protocol has just changed our life. And we are out here every morning and night just telling the world that we're on a mission to make sure that they don't go through what I went through. I don't want my worst enemy to go through that, because chances are they're not going to get through it.